What's going on, everyone? I'm joined today by the future of UK MMA, Will Currie. How's it going?
Good, man. How you doing?
Yeah, not too bad, mate. Not too bad. Congratulations, first off, on your purple belt at the beginning of the year.
Thank you.
So obviously you've got a fight coming up on Probellum. You're 4-0 as a pro now after going 5-0 as an amateur. 7 of those by submission. Is it sort of a sort of choice to go on the ground? Is that where you're more comfortable? I mean, I've seen you working on some new techniques on the feet. Are you looking for a knockout this time, or are you just happy wherever the fight goes?
I'll just see what happens, man. I'll just see what happens. Obviously, if I'd be lying to say that the jiu-jitsu hasn't been the main weapon so far, but I'd also be lying to say that I don't have other weapons. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. Who knows? Might be a knockout this one. Might be a submission. It's definitely going to be a finish. That's for sure.
Exciting either way, mate. Exciting either way. So you're only 21. You're already on a 9-win streak. I mean, you've got Jimi Manuwa behind you. I mean, how did that all start? And as a young fighter, to have someone like that with you, I guess that can only help, really, can't it?
Oh, massive. Well, I was getting bullied in school, so I decided to go to an MMA gym to learn how to defend myself. Met Jimmy, started training mixed martial arts, started bunking school. Mum and Dad took me out of school, started taking mixed martial arts serious full time when I was about 17. And then I just trained religiously, had my first fight when I was 18. And of course, yeah, Jimmy was a big motivation. I mean, he started the sport at 28 and did what he did. So if he can start the sport at 28 and do what he did, it's just an inspirational thing. So being 16 years old, I think I can do this now because he did it at 28. So went in, had my first fight at 18, and then just haven't really looked back since, really. So yeah,
it's quite interesting actually to hear about what you went through at school. Obviously, there's loads of young people out there who do go through the same. But obviously, when you look at an MMA fighter, you don't really think that someone like that could have that much of a background, and it's sort of quite sort of shows how important MMA can be in someone's life and how it can sort of turn it around for them as well.
For sure.
Obviously, you trained with Darren Till as well. So you've sort of been in with your fair share of sort of high-profile names. He had a good submission win, his first submission win as well at the weekend, which was good to watch. I see you've been out in the UFC PI as well with Jiri Prochazka. I think I pronounced that right.
Jiri Prochazka.
I mean, what was that experience like, and how did that all come about as well? Have you known him for quite a while, or?
I met Jiri at All Stars in Sweden. He was in the Gustafsson camp for the John Jones rematch. So I met him there. And yeah, I mean, I got invited to the Institute. Well, I asked him actually. I saw he was on his stories that it was at the Institute. I was in Vegas. So I was like, yo, Jiri, you fancy doing some training? He said, yes, we trained. That was wicked. He obviously has gone on to do really well. He beat Volkan in that last one. But there's lots of lesser guys like Hamza Shamaev I've trained with. I mean, I've got a long list of people that I've trained with. I could go on for days, like Ilir Latifi, Neiman Gracie. I mean, I've got a lot of experience training with some high-level guys, so I'm very happy about that.
Yeah, you touched on Gracie. Obviously, you're a member of the Roger Gracie Academy, and that's got to be something as well. I mean, for such a young fighter, I mean, you've certainly had your sort of fair share of high-caliber training and sort of high level stuff. I mean, is that sort of something that's helped you get where you are today? And
I haven't really with Roger Gracie. I haven't really trained with Roger a huge amount at Roger Gracie. He's not there as often as other coaches, but there are very high level coaches at Roger Gracie and very good training partners to train with. I have trained with Roger, but not as much as I'd like. But yeah, that helps with the wrestling. I've got a British wrestling champion helping me with the wrestling. Jiu-jitsu is Kiwan Gracie, who's really helped me with the jiu-jitsu at Roger Gracie. He's his cousin of Roger. And then with the Muay Thai, I've had a lot of help from Alan Kettle. I've taken a lot of inspiration watching Jonathan Haggerty. And then with the boxing, I've been working with Jimmy a lot with the boxing, and he's been helping me with that, and Kofi Donker and Marcus. So I've had a lot of help in specific mixed martial arts training. Not going to a mixed martial arts gym, learning how to box at a mixed martial arts gym, or learning jiu-jitsu at a mixed martial arts gym. I've learned the specific martial arts from the guys who just do that specific martial art every day.
Component. Yeah.
And me being the mixed martial arts, I do the fusion where I add them all together. You know, I blend them.
Do you find that? Do you find that, I wouldn't say easier, but better in your training to go to the Gracie Academy for your jiu-jitsu and to box with Jimmy and to do Muay Thai with Alan Kettle? Obviously, I've seen your training videos with him as well. Do you think it's better doing it that way rather than doing it all in one in an MMA gym? Or
definitely. I mean, you go to an MMA gym and it's basically, I mean, of course, when you do boxing, not everything that you do in the boxing gym you're going to do in an MMA fight, but you're learning how to properly box. You're going to the wrestling gym. You're learning how to properly wrestle. By going to these MMA gyms, they're MMA fighters. Their overall is MMA, but they're not specific at anything. So I feel like if you want to learn and you want to learn in the best environment, I don't believe you want to practice mixed martial arts. I feel like you want to practice the specifics. Break down mixed martial arts. What is it? It's a stand up. It's a clinch. It's a cage wrestle. It's on the floor. It's ground and, but it's like, you know what I mean. So it's like going to these MMA gyms. The boxing is shit. The wrestling is shit. The jiu-jitsu is shit compared to these specific mixed martial artists who just work at that area of the fight. So you learn from them and then you add it together. Of course, you do mixed martial arts sparring and you train mixed martial arts, but you don't do mixed martial arts. You break the sport down.
yeah,
And you train with the best in their individual fields.
I suppose that way you get then every aspect spot on before then, like you say, fusing it all together when you get in.
Yeah, I mean, I've got so much more to show now. I've shown a lot of the jiu-jitsu, and there's more of the jiu-jitsu to show. I've got more jiu-jitsu to show, more tricks that not that I haven't had them back, but just to unveil. It just still hasn't been unveiled. But even more with the stand-up, even more of the wrestling. So I can't wait for this next fight. I really, really want to fight this fight and then fight immediately after in October. I just want to fight now and get as many under my belt and try and get that, UFC contract.
Yeah, I suppose all the experience helps with that. Just getting in there and fighting. The more you fight, the more you're gonna get the experience, and the more you're gonna learn and grow, I suppose. And then soon enough, I guess everyone's dream is UFC. It's the pinnacle of the sport, isn't it? So
yeah, man. I mean, it's the Premier League.
Yeah, definitely. With Probellum, obviously this is going to be your promotional debut. Obviously you fought on Killer Cam and UC MMA. I mean, what's it sort of? Have you noticed much of a difference going on Probellum in terms of promotion or anything like that? Obviously, it's headed up by Colin Heron and John Gillies. Just
an opponent, bro.
Yeah.
Just an opponent on a show, on a date. No different. I've fought on many shows. I mean, I don't know. I have to fight on Probellum, then I'll tell you. But as of right now, all it is a poster, and that's all it is. Until I'm in there actually facing across from him. I don't know what's going to happen. But I'm very confident that Probellum's a very, very good show. They seem very organised with the way they're running things. So, yeah, I think Probellum's here to stay. I think Probellum's not messing around here. They put on some good fights. Matty Byfield, my friend's fighting on the card. He's a very, very talented light heavyweight. You should check him out. Yeah, I'm just raring to fight now, man. I'm just sick of just this corona bullshit. I'm sick of injuries. I'm sick of all the stuff that stops you from fighting. I just want to fight and just show who I am, I
was going to say, has it been hard sort of waiting around with this coronavirus going on, not knowing when you're going to fight? How does that affect
I used it though. The one thing that was good about it is I saw everyone had problems and I was like, well, I've not got as much problems as others because I'm very fortunate to be able to have a facility in my home where I'm able to train with Matt.
I was going to say, I see you've got to set up in your front room as well. So I guess it's sort of allowed you to keep training when others haven't been able to.
At first, when Corona was coming out, I took it very serious, all the social distancing at first, because I didn't know how bad the disease was. Are there going to be bodies piling up in the street? I don't know what the disease. I don't know the situation. Well, one thing is for sure, the for the first month, I was able to live with people and train with people just living with me. So every day I was living with fighters and training. And then as that month drew out, I just ended up not giving a shit after I realized that Corona was not really that serious, and people have actually got more damaged with losing their jobs and their homes and not being able to pay their mortgage than actually a disease that only 99.7% survival rate or whatever it is. I don't know. So I don't know what it is, but it definitely wasn't due all the social distancing, in my opinion. Now looking at how the disease is bad in terms of when it gets, but there's always going to be a disease out there. The damage that it's done to the economy is fucking terrible. So I've used the lockdown, and I've really worked on my skills and I've really built on it. Whereas a lot of people have been moaning about not being able to train, and I've just fucking trained more than ever. So I'm very happy. Not happy with lockdown, but I'm happy that I used the lockdown well.
Yeah.
And
you for 21 years old as well, you're a big guy. Have you always sort of worked out as such, or is it sort of mainly a thing that when you sort of got into MMA, that's when the physical training started as well? Or
well, when I was young, when I was getting bullied, I was a tiny kid in school. Like I was just a midget. I was the smallest kid in the school. And then when I was 16, I started having a growth spurt. So I was like the skinny kid when I started doing MMA. And then I just sort of bulked up through training, really. So I started training, doing jiu-jitsu, doing wrestling, MMA. Just builds your body up. So, and through puberty, of course, as well. So yeah. I mean, gained some size now, good 6'3", so good for a middleweight.
Yeah. Obviously being big, obviously 21 years old, only going to bulk up from now probably. Would there ever be a move up to 205 to light heavy, or are you just sort of happy where you are? Have you sort of thought about that in future, or?
Yeah, when I'm around 25, 26, I reckon. Yeah, as of right now, I want to go 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. That's when I'll probably go up to light heavyweight around 25. That's my prediction. From me thinking about things and the way my body has got bigger over each year. I mean, now I've got a nutritionist for these weight cuts, and I'm sure as I get further in the game, I'll get more advanced with how I make the weight to 180, 186. But eventually it will be championship weight, I hope. A plan like it will be. I will be 185 champ, and then I want to go up to light heavyweight when I'm around 25, 20, around, you know what I'm saying? Around that end, because I will eventually. The size is going to go. I've got big legs.
I was going to say, there's only sort of so much time that you can continue that cut. Obviously, with Darren Till, he used to cut to welterweight, and he was killing himself for them cuts, and obviously
made the right decision moving up. Bro. He weren't dieting properly, bro. He was eating burgers and fucking drinking Coke.
I've heard a lot of sort of discussion on him doing the keto diet as well. I don't know if that's sort of anything that anyone else has looked into. I sort of heard bad things about that as well. I don't know. I don't know too much into that. But.
All I know is, bro. All I know is that I've met him, and he's not a middleweight. He can bulk up and he can do all the weights he wants. He's not a middleweight. A middleweight is me. Someone who's the frame. If you ever see a picture, there's a picture of me when I was 19, Darren. I'm a lot bigger than him. He's a welterweight, mate. I'm telling you, he's not 6'2" either. He's 6 foot. It's a lie about his height. I've met him. There's a picture you can see. I don't feel like it. I feel like that was him not making weight was simply a dedication thing. And if I can make middleweight, he can make fucking welterweight. And as for him being the gorilla and this nickname, he was not the gorilla. When I met him, he was not the Francis Ngannou was huge when I met him. That's a real life tank, massive. No, I met Darren. I was like, you're not big. Everyone was going on about how big he is. No, he's not. So all I'm gonna say on that one is, I think it was a dedication thing. If you want my honest opinion about why that guy didn't make welterweight, because he can make welterweight. If Hamzat Shemev can make welterweight, Darren Till can make welterweight. He's now beefed up and he's got bigger for middleweight. But compare him if he ever meets someone like a Paulo Costa, Kelvin Gastelum, who he fought, is not a middleweight. That guy is not a middleweight. That's a welterweight. Kelvin Gastelum is not a middleweight either. Someone like Costa Adesanya, these are middleweights, you know?
Yeah, no, that's interesting. Obviously, I don't sort of get involved in the dieting. I'm a fan as well as sort of wanting to get on and interview fighters just to find a bit more about the sport and about nutritional side of things. So it's quite interesting to sort of hear your side of things as you've worked with nutritionists and know how it all works and that. Obviously, talking about size, your nickname is Drago. Is that a touch on Ivan Drago from Rocky?
Yeah, I had an MMA coach when I was 18 who called me Drago all the time, so it just stuck.
Fair enough, mate. Fair enough. Well, I mean, listen, build up to this fight seems good. You're sort of staying ready with all the training. Not long now. Excited to get in there, I guess.
Oh, mate, I'm gagging. I'm desperate. I just feel at the moment like a bit of an Instagram fighter. Do you know what I mean? Like, yeah. I had 4 fights back to back. I had like a little break. I helped Dapper last with his MMA thing. Then after that, I had that fight scheduled for Abu Dhabi in Probellum. I tore my knee out a few weeks before. I was overtraining and I was just exhausted. I went to a sparring session. Was so tired in this sparring session. Did a few rounds. Ended up going for a leg lock. As I went for the leg lock, I twanged my knee. Went out for a month, having to like rehab it and fix it. And then I came back and I'm still rehabbing it. There's no way I could have fought. And then it was coronavirus, which stopped the next fight in April. So I'm just, you know what I mean? Like I'm going crazy. So this fight, it's just finally. I just want to show, all this time out hasn't been, for nothing. It's, I just, man, watch this fight and you'll see.
I was going to say you look ready to fight now. You look ready to fight now. So, just one final thing. I touched at the start, future of UK MMA, and there's obviously a lot of hype around you, a lot of people, big names supporting you. I mean, do you feel the pressure, or are you more like a Conor McGregor type, say, thrive off the pressure?
Well, Conor McGregor's in a league of his own. I mean, he's a very unique individual. He's unique of the unique. I'm just me. Do you know what I mean? I'm just gonna do me. I'm just gonna go in there and fight. I mean, I live a very easy life. All I have to do is just worry about my next training session and my next meal. So all I do, man, I just train every day. It's there's no worry really. I mean, if he beats me, he beats me. I just don't think he will. Do you know what I mean? So that's my attitude. I'm very confident now. Domestically, I'm very confident. I look around domestically and I'm not worried. I'm not worried about anyone. So whoever, gonna beat this guy, gonna fight again. Hopefully October. Keep this winning streak alive, and hopefully live up to that statement to be true.
When sorry, just again another thing. I know it's late. Just another one.
Good, man. I'm a bro. I don't give a shit, man. You know what I mean, I don't care. Whatever, man. You ask what you want to ask, bro. I appreciate you asking, mate.
No, that's cool. I was going to say is,
or even doing the interview. I'm not a somebody yet, So I appreciate this kind of stuff because it shows that you're someone who recognizes the grassroots of MMA. It's not like I go into UFC and then all of a sudden I now have hundreds of thousands of followers and everyone. I respect people that look at people who working their way up and can recognize talent when they see it. So I appreciate that, man.
Yeah, no, that's cool. I mean, I'm not judgmental of any promotion or anything like that. It takes balls to step into the cage, whatever level you're at. So, I appreciate every fight, and I'm willing to interview everyone who steps in there, and sort of interesting as a fan, to see the hype around you. And I was following you on my personal page, sort of for a couple of years now, and to see obviously the hype that's been built around you. I thought it was just sort of quite interesting to ask whether you felt any pressure or whether it was just normal. In terms of looking around domestically, you say that there's not really anyone that you think can trouble you. I mean, is there a time scale when you want to sort of move on from that stage and get a bit sort of higher up the ladder, or?
I mean,
or is it just about getting fights under the belt at the moment?
Well, when we look at it domestically, who are the guys domestically who we'd say are the best? So we've got Darren Till in the UFC. We've got Fabian Edwards in Bellator. We've got Shipman in Bellator. Who else is there? Scott Askins in KSW. Who else is there? Middleweight, British.
Well, you got Darren Stewart, but I mean, I know you've trained with him, so I didn't want to throw his name out there.
Darren Stewart's in UFC. But on the whole, like when I look around domestic outside of UFC,
Fredericks and Cage Warriors.
I'm just. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm not worried. I'm not worried. I'm very, very confident, man. I'm very, very confident. We'll see if that confidence is real, you know? So we'll find out. MMA's maths at the end of the day. It's 1 + 1 = 2. There's no opinions. We'll find out the facts soon enough.
Well, I suppose, mate, it starts with confidence, doesn't it? If you haven't got confidence, why are you even getting in there, I suppose? So, I mean, that's the main thing to have behind you. So I'm excited for this next one on Probellum, and onwards and upwards,
yeah,
mate.
Beat him, beat whoever it is next, and just keep winning and doing whatever it is. You know, as for like who's it going to be, like stepping up competition, I don't give a shit. I just do whoever Jimmy says, right, you're fighting this guy, sign the contract for this. All right, cool, fighting him. Do you know what I mean? Like, that's how my attitude is. I don't give a fuck. I don't. Right at this stage now, domestically, whatever. Whoever it is, whatever. Do you know what I mean? So I'm just. That's my attitude with it all.
Whoever wants it can get it.
Yeah, I mean, of course, when we go UFC, you know, I want to go to UFC, and I want to I look at Adesanya, very, very good striker, very good stand up. But I can out wrestle him, and I got better grappling, and I got better jiu-jitsu. My stand up's not poor to the point where he's just. Of course, he's the better striker, but it's not in the sense. It's not like my stand up's fucking good, mate, and it's got a lot better in the last year. I've got a lot more man strength and a lot more power now. Big legs, heavy hands, broad shoulders, good kicking. Like, I don't want to talk too much on the stand-up because I've got a lot of points to prove on that because I've done a lot of jiu-jitsu, but I've got a lot better grappling than Adesanya. And that's a fact. You know, you can look at our fights and you can see who's got the better jiu-jitsu in the ground. And he's the champion. So, you know, I feel like I can go UFC and I can start making a run for it straight away. I just want to just prove to the people that know me and everyone who thinks that they're right, you know. So just win this fight. That gets me 5-0, 6-0, 7-0, 8-0. Then we're getting around that record, which UFC start to notice you. Go UFC, and we're just gonna keep it going every day. It's the same thing, bro. It's just train, work hard, go to sleep. Next day. Do you know what I mean? And with that attitude, I think I can go far.
Mate, it's amazing to hear the confidence that you've got and fair play, and you've got every right to do so. You know, the way you're training at the moment. So I'm excited for this one. I'm going to keep my eyes on you and watch you rise through the ranks. Respect, brother. Philip, it was a pleasure. Appreciate the time, mate. Nice one, man. Thank you. Will. Have a good one. Of course.